Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit in November 1982. We were last typing in and playing video games on the show. Let's see what our next game is after this commercial break. Look at the size of that.
Module with Sega's Turbo, the video cartridge that looks
Whoa, an actual pedal like in the arcade. And a gear shifter with the joystick.
Through tunnels, oil slick. Race Turbo on your ColecoVision, Atari VCS, or Intellivision game systems.
And the other ones never came to be. Well, Intellivision did come to be. It is the release of Turbo on your ColecoVision. Finally, racing at home, real racing or racing simulation. Here's the box for Turbo. And this is not real. This can't be real because every box I've seen for Turbo on the ColecoVision looks nothing like this. Someone tell me if this was a later box that someone got with just the game inside, because we're about to go through all the expansion modules and peripherals, and I believe this is a fabrication from the Intellivision box. Yes, Turbo on the ColecoVision. This is the 10th game that we've seen on the ColecoVision. Yeah, this gotta be this. It's gotta be the Intellivision one. That's not the real box. Let's check out the real box for Turbo. You would have also seen this in Europe by CBS Electronics, but I don't think that's the real box either. Oh no, none of those are the real box. This looks more like the real box, or at least this is the version of what they would have seen in Europe, because Turbo wasn't just released on its own. Turbo was part of the Expansion Module 2 for the ColecoVision. Expansion Module 1 allowed you to play those Atari 2600 games on this console. And here is the box that I'm most familiar with, where you have the wheel and the pedal inside the box, all included. Yeah, you do need a cartridge to play, and you still need the joystick to play as well. You have to have everything in a giant, massive box. Yeah, there it is. So not only can you now play Atari at home on this console, but you can now plug in the pedal and the wheel and do a driving simulation. Yeah, how do we play some Turbo? We're going to need the instructions for this one. Now, this one we originally saw in the arcades in October 1981. This is the very first home port of Turbo. We saw in the commercial it was going to be released for other consoles, never showed up on the Atari VCS. It is on the Intellivision, and we'll see that sometime next year in 1983. You have to have the expansion module too, so I don't know where you're going to... If you just bought the game by itself, you wouldn't be able to do anything because you have to have the other peripherals to play. Yes, rev your engines and get ready to test your driving skills in the popular Sega arcade game. If you don't remember Turbo, I'll include a link below for the arcade version. It is ahead of its time. Superscaler technology before Superscaler really was a thing. It is awesome. So I want to see how in the world they do this on the ColecoVision. Yeah, there we go. It had to be with the expansion module too. You can't play without that. So it explains how to get ready, and here's what you got to do. You have to put the joystick or the controller of the ColecoVision into the wheel, attach the pedal to the expansion module 2, and then the expansion module 2 is attached to your system. Yeah, a lot of setup for this one, but if you want to have a driving simulation experience, this is it. This is by Sega, so at least licensed by Sega. This is the this is the second game we've seen that Sega has done on the ColecoVision after Zaxxon, and they also had Zaxxon on the Atari 2600. But everything else that Sega has done up to this point has all been in the arcade. They've done 36 games in the arcade, and this is the third game that you could play at home by Sega. Amazing. Wait until next year. So here's the controls. You use the control stick as your gear shifter, the steering wheel, and the accelerator. The keypad is how you're going to be selecting your game modes, but man, it is like a spinner. That's how the steering wheel is controlled. Oh man, yeah, and you have to make sure you have a good place to put this. What if you don't have a table? How are you going to drive? You're going to put it in your lap to play? So here's all the startup. Get on your marks, get set, get go. Pick your game mode. Signal rate is red, and all you're doing is, just like you did with Turbo, passing all the cars, enjoying the nice scenery. Because this one's trying to do a very admirable job of graphics that are only possible in the arcade. And you have Turbo, yes, to change your gear shifter. Watch out for oil slicks. And if you pass 30 cars, your time is going to be reset. But you got to make sure you pass 30 cars. It also depends on what skill level you pick, too. You get some bonus points as well. There they are. Still got to know what the points are in November 1982. Oh, man, this one is a big one. This is the 25th game we've seen by Coleco Industries up to this point. Let's pop it and play some Turbo. This is Sega and Coleco, the beginning of November 1982. So this one, you better have everything plugged in or nothing is going to work. This one also is a rare cartridge game that is loading. It actually takes a little bit of time to load before you can make any skill selections. We're still sitting here and we're waiting. And we're still waiting. All right, I'm going to go with skill level 1 so we can hopefully pass a few cars to keep going. It's just bizarre to feel like there's a loading to the game. All right, the Coleco Atom. I think we're going to see that one in 1983. At least a few games on it, right? All right, here we go. We're in. Accelerator ready. Gear shift ready. Yeah, there we go. So we have to be dodging cars, moving our wheel left and right. The control is a way ahead of its time because there's nothing else that is giving you this kind of experience at home, being able to use a wheel and a pedal. I mentioned in the chat before the show that I know the Telstar Arcade... Oh, there you go, you got me. The Telstar Arcade had a... we already passed 60. Oh, every time we hit, we lose 10. The Telstar Arcade had a wheel, but I don't think it was like a superior driving experience. This one's going for the real thing. Here, let's crank it up. And you do have the gear shifter to switch around to the different modes. Yeah, there we go. See if we can pass a few more. Looking good. Wow, and it changes the scenery like it did in the arcade, too. It's not giving us the stretched feeling of the early superscaler technology, but this is still really admirable for the ColecoVision. Gosh, yeah, if you change the gear, you can go so fast. You can go turbo. So cool. Yeah, thanks, Brad. You got to make sure you shift to go really quick. If you go too far, you'll just crash into the side. Okay, give me my car's pass, because I know I made it. There it is. Watch out for the oil slicks. Wow, yeah, the speed. Oh, no way, they're doing the same effect. I was really impressed when I saw this in the arcade. I can't believe they tried it. Wow. Whoa. Man, that car was going way too slow. And you blow up in fantastic fashion. Oh, but I'm still in. I'll take it. If you play on harder difficulties, you have more cars you need to pass, and also you have less times that you can explode before it's a game over. There it is. There's the game over. Wow. Oh, wow. So this one's a very big release. This quick little taste of what the game would be like to play is nothing compared to holding in your hands the wheel and using the pedal to play. There is no other video game right now you can play at home with this experience. In the arcade, though, yes, we've seen lots of video games with a wheel and a pedal and a gear shifter, but to be able to do this at home is ridiculous. This is another monstrous title for the ColecoVision. This is another one of those games that is making this really, really special system. Yes, Manly, 5 stars. Look at that. See some 4s out there, 4.5s. Since there's nothing else like this out there, and as far as driving or racing games go, it is attempting to do something that is really ahead of its time in the arcade right now. I'm amazed that this exists. I'm going all in. This is a very, very well done game. 5 stars all the way for Turbo. Wow. And I don't know how else we're going to top that one as far as driving games go. Yeah, I see another 5. Oh, just a little bit, but it is still trying to run on the same hardware, the ColecoVision hardware. But the fact that they're combining all of it with this simulation experience is awesome. And also, the driving games from this perspective are still relatively new. If you got this brand new, it would be incredible. All right, so yeah, I got to go big or go home. Yes, oh, that's true. You do need the extra hardware to run that one. Expansion module 2 or it won't work. All right, after that, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Arcade players, get ready. The new Atari 5200 Super System is here. With a controller so advanced it plays arcade. Graphics so real it looks arcade. With arcade hits you can't play on any other system. No other home video system can touch it. The new Atari 5200 Super System. It's as good as you are. Maybe even better. Next time.
That's right. It's another game for the brand new Atari 5200. That guy looked like Mr. Arcade. I wonder if it was like Mr. Arcade's son. This is Missile Command for the brand new Atari 5200. Let's check it out. Here's the box for Missile Command. Wow. Once again, Atari delivers with some fantastic artwork. The theme or color scheme is the same for the boxes on the Atari 5200. Missile Command shouldn't be new to anybody. At this point, we've seen a lot of Missile Command and Missile Command type games. We've seen clones of Missile Command. We've seen the basis of Missile Command games are basically considered the command shooters. So how do you keep track of what all the games we've seen up to this point? How do you really know how good this is compared to all the other Missile Commands that are out there? Well, we're going to go to a chrono recap. So here is the first time we ever saw Missile Command arcade in June of 1980. The very first time we ever saw the version of Missile Command that we come to know and love, moving the crosshair around and everything. After that, at some point around in 1980, then we started to get variants. The very first one we got was ABM on the Apple II. Looks pretty good, does the job. And then we also saw Missile Attack on the TRS-80, and then we also saw another one, Missile Challenger. That is just an example of the screenshot. After that, we saw NORAD on the Apple II in February of 1981. After that was an official Missile Command. It was the Missile Command for the Atari 2600 in July 1981. Now, most of the versions we played up to this point, even the official one, are not true arcade recreations. You only have one base to shoot from and attack from. After that one, then in August 1981, we saw Missile Command on the Atari home computer. Now this one should be really, really similar for the one we're going to be seeing on the Atari 5200 right now. It's very similar hardware. After that next official Missile Command, then on the TRS-80 color computer, we saw the exceptional Polaris. November 1981, around that time. This one allowed you to shoot from all three bases. Oh yeah, it is very, very nice. After that, we saw Laser Attack on the TRS-80 color computer around December 1981. Hey, I know that guy. Laser Attack was much to be desired. Really wasn't going anywhere. After that, we hit 1981, and in the arcade, we got Colony 7 in the arcade. Really, really fun. After that, in the arcade, we saw Future Flash in 1981. Same kind of idea. We're getting lots of command shooters that are really taking the Missile Command idea. Then after that, we saw Meteorites for the Commodore PET. Very, very quaint. After that, on the TRS-80 color computer, we played Anti-Ballistic Missile Command in February 1982. This one was better than the other one we played on the Coco, but not nearly as good as Polaris. After that, we saw Target Command on the Commodore VIC-20 in March of 1982. Then in April 1982, we played Anti-Ballistic Missile for MS-DOS. Then we saw Laser Defense, really, really good one, on the TRS-80 in May 1982. After that, we got another variant, Liberator in the arcade in August of 1982. Wow, that one's a really good one. Notice that majority of these that we've seen have been on computers or arcade, not a lot for consoles. Then we hit September 1982, and we saw Laser Command for the BBC Micro. Very, very well done for a home computer. After that, we saw Rocket Raiders on the Atari home computer. Yikes. A little rough around the edges for that one. Then when we hit October 1982, we saw Atlantis on the Intellivision. Completely different than the Atlantis on the Atari 2600. It actually plays like Missile Command. It's awesome. Then after that, on the Atari home computer, we saw Sentinel. This is awesome. Same idea as the laser defense on the TRS-80, just in color. And then in November 1982, we got Missile Command for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, but not official Missile Command. In fact, the box or fabrication of the box that I showed when we played that obviously was based on the Atari 5200, so it's not a real box. Sorry about that. Which brings us to right now. That means we played 18 variants of Missile Command, and this one marks the... There it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. And this one marks the 4th official Missile Command that we played up to this point. There we go. That'll work. So now this is the 6th Atari 5200 game that we've seen on Chronologically Gaming. Lots more games to come on the Atari 5200. What other artwork do we have for Missile Command? We got some other fabrications of boxes, reconstructed boxes, and the system itself. There's the cartridge, the giant one for the Atari 5200 with a fan-made box. Oh, and then, yeah, another version of the box right here. I'm expecting this to play exactly like it did on the Atari home computer. Oh, that's true. This one does work with the trackball. And it's a very different experience and a really good experience to play this with the trackball. All right, here's the manual for Missile Command. At this point, we're very familiar on how to move a crosshair around and shoot, but what we really need to know is what's the story. Yeah, there it is. It's 2203. The planet Zardon was established as Earth's outermost colony. Originally, Zardon was intended to be the front line of defense in the event of interplanetary attack. A missile base stocked with anti-ballistic missiles was the first order of business. After its completion, the founding colonists set about building a town. In the years that ensued, the town flourished and grew into a city. And that's how we go on the story to defend Earth or Zardon. Yeah, Zardonians go about their business. And then we have to make sure that they stay safe and not blow up. Way to go, story and lore. Thanks, Atari. Yes, bring on the lore. For gameplay, you really don't need to know too much compared to all the other games we played up to this point with Missile Command. It shows you a screenshot, breaks down what smart missiles are like, the cities. This does only have one base to fire from, so it's not a true arcade one-to-one recreation. You can zap them a few times. I think they include all the shots as if it was 3 bases in one, but they're all coming from the center. Yeah, if you have no more ABMs to launch, then he'll have a no launch symbol on top. Not so good. If you do lose, then you get the end and everything blows up and dies. And how to use the 5200 controller, get that overlay, put it on. Overlay isn't too much. We just have a practice mode, 1 or 2 players, skip mode, and bonus mode. And then you can use the star key to do 1 or 2, but it's hot seat multiplayer. You don't get to play at the same time. No 2 crosshairs moving around on the screen at the same. What happened to after Space Invaders on the Atari 2600? They just don't take as many liberties with video games now, or provide as many options. They also have a mode called the Skip Wave mode. It allows you to just skip through the first few waves. It's essentially like a difficulty meter, because if you start on the first wave, it's the easiest, and it progressively gets harder and harder, but you can skip the first few, I believe up to 9. So you can skip up to 9 waves and then start on a harder difficulty. And then they have the practice mode as well. And then the big one, what really sets this apart is if you have the trackball that comes with the Atari 5200, that'll give you the true Missile Command experience. And over here we got the points. What is it worth? Why am I shooting all this? To get the high score right there. Awesome. And then we got a few game strategy and some tips and tricks down at the bottom of the manual. Feel free to pause if you need to and learn or improve your game of Missile Command on the Atari 5200. Well done, Atari. The manual is great. And they got the end at the end of the manual. I love it. Yeah, it would have been so fun, Arrow. Why didn't they do that? All right, so let's pop in and play Missile Command on the Atari 5200 by Robert Zittabel. Way to go, Robert. The beginning of November 1982. All right. So for this, I can switch between 1 or 2 players, and I can skip if I want to, but I'll just start on the first mode. This is the 6th game that we've seen by Robert Zidabel. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that one. Ready, and hit it. Oh, wow. The control is smooth. Now, I am emulating this with an Atari 5200 analog joystick, and it's already awesome to do it that way, but I can't imagine playing this on trackball. It already feels really good with the analog control. I feel like I have more control over the game than I had before. Oh, I said that, and then all of a sudden it got all wonky on me. Wait for it. No, not the base. There we go, got it. Sweet. Oh man, it's Missile Command. I'm a big fan. When it came out in the arcades, I gave it 5 stars of all the games you could play. Hello? Are you there? All of a sudden the game has froze or stopped on me. Haven't experienced that one before. I guess we'll try it again to see what happens. One more chance at Missile Command. This one is a command shooter. It's the 42nd command shooter that we've seen here on Chronologically Gaming. For the ones that take the inspiration from Missile Command or not. Yeah, and they have the split where it breaks into lots of different ones. Oh, that's what it was, Marshall. It's on the joystick. You pause it and it just sits there, right? Yeah, that was it. I'll take all of that. Yeah, starting off on the first few waves is pretty good. Man, yeah, you have way more control over this than the other versions. It's so good. Well done for a home release. We have played analog controls, though, on home computers, so we are going to compare this to what you would have with consoles, but at this point we have played this, but this is just, it's still very well done. Are you going to be able to play it, though, whenever the joystick dies on you? That's the question. It's kind of weird playing with one center base that is adding more firepower than you're used to. I still give props to Polaris for having all 3 bases that you can fire from. Yeah, it's pretty close. What? How did that one get away? Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's a good one too. Nope, not looking good. I think it just blew up one, though. Nope, yeah, you gotta wait for it to come back. There we go. We're slowly dying, but it's working all right. It does seem a little bit, right, compared to the Atari home computer? Oh, got it. You got one loose. Sweet. Yeah, it's still fun to play. And the control is some of the best you could play right now on home consoles. I got one on me. Nope, gotta lead the target. Lead it. Especially if they fire off a shot ahead of you. It's harder to keep track of how much ammunition you have, though, from the one base. You have to do some math in your head because it's clearing the shots that you have in the center and then going for a whole nother rack of missiles. It also doesn't feel so much like I'm commanding missiles if... Die! Oh, not looking good, but I still have the firepower. It's still working awesome. Yes, in the year 2200, they still have just planes. Oh, great advice, John. If they're aiming for dirt, then don't even worry about it, right? Oh, and that's it. You have to wait a brief second while it eventually comes back, or your ammunition comes back. So good. So, it's not a one-to-one recreation that's perfect, but because of the controls, that's what puts this over the top for me. It is an excellent video game across all console games that you could be playing right now. But the reason we did the Chrono recap was to stress how many other Missile Command-like games are out there and the type of quality that Missile Command games are there. I know, I want them to blow up right now. If they don't blow up right now, gosh, they take, you have to surround them to blow them up. This one's gonna have to go, come on. Damn. And there it is. Wow. Yeah, this is an improvement. The end. Well done. There you go. That's Missile Command for the Atari 5200. That is excellent. Of all the games you can play across all home consoles, ColecoVision is still an extremely good console right now, but this is just classic arcade action and Missile Command. Looking over in the chat, I actually see some 4.5s. Oh, 5 for Brad. Awesome. I don't think I'll go as high as 5 because it's not like a one-to-one recreation, but because of the trackball, I would say 4, but because of the other controls, I'm saying 4.5 for Missile Command. It's one of the best games you could play on home consoles right now, even on the 5200. Yes. Oh, yeah. Marshall's going 5. Sweet. All right, but that's not all. We're not done on the Atari 5200. Our next release is Star Raiders for the Atari 5200. This is our 7th game we played on the brand new console by Atari. Here's the box for Star Raiders. Oh, man. Now, we've already seen this quite a few times already, as far as Star Raiders or Star Raiders type games go. Let's flip this over on the back. Oh, you're a new member of the Elite Star Raiders. Seek out and destroy on-site all Xylon starships while you battle time, energy drain, starship damage, enemy threats. One player only game, but it's detailed. We're going to go in depth here. So for Star Raiders, this one has a lot of stuff we can talk about. There's the cartridge for Star Raiders on the Atari 5200, and the artwork is once again exceptional on the Atari. I mean, look at this fan art we got for Star Raiders. That's the one. That's like putting us in command on the strategy board. Sweet. Well done. Another one that I'm going to be comparing to the Atari home computer version. It's the killer app of the Atari 400 and the Atari 800. Here's the manual for Star Raiders. Shows us how to put the game cartridge in, and this manual is massive. There is a lot going on with this. First of all, it has a word from Commander Champion. You know, the leader of Atari Force from the comic books. He is giving us the down low on how to play the game. Thanks, Commander Champion. You go through the whole story of how we're supposed to seek out all the Xylon combat ships. There it is, the different types, the Xylon Fighter, the Xylon Cruiser, and the Xylon Base Star. Watch out for those. We got different skill levels, Novice, Pilot, Warrior, and Commander, and at the end of every time you play, you'll be rated based on your rank or how well you did. And then we have a flight simulation training. It is treating the video game as the simulation as if you were in an actual spaceship. It is awesome. It goes through everything, how you actually set up the game, what the point of the game is. I mean, this is a very well done manual too. Look at the artwork here. Like he's using the system and the joystick. You got Starship Simulation. Attach your joystick. Get ready for liftoff. Press the power button. It shows you how to use the Atari 5200 controller. The overlay for this is on another level too. When you put the overlay over the joystick, you are pushing one button to switch all the numbers to something completely different. So you have you have two sets basically on one number pad, because I guess 3, 6, 9, 12 numbers wasn't enough. You need to have 24 to play this. 24 buttons to play the game. It's crazy. And it is analog controlled. Now we're going to be flying a ship with the analog control stick. Why, oh why did they design them to break down so much? So if you go in the control mode, the first mode is the speed mode. It's just how fast you can go. Then the next mode is the control mode. That's how you actually play and go through the game. Turning on shields, your attack computer, how to activate the galactic chart and warp around. All that is here. And this is how detailed the game is. The manual has so much information. It shows you the target data, where you're supposed to go on the galactic map, how to warp to different places, and navigating hyperspace. When you enter a sector, what you're supposed to do, and hyperwarp, shooting off your photon torpedoes, how the radar works, which is on a whole nother level. They're having to break this down when we've already seen this and other versions similar to this game, but this is one of the most detailed manuals of even better than what they had on the Atari home computer. And that was awesome on the Atari home computer. No way, Errol, really? I had no idea. All right, yeah, you can see here they're going through how to fly, how to look back in the back of your ship, turn targeting off, and the entire time you play the game, your energy is draining, and you want to be able to conserve energy the best you can, returning to different bases to get your energy back up. And if your starship takes damage, what should you do, and how you can work with different, like if your shields are down, your attack computer is down, and so forth, and then how to dock with the starbase. Wow, this manual is almost like we're reading a strategy game for something by SSI on a computer. Incredible. So much to this. Yes, 1979 was the original that we saw. So Doug Neubauer did the original on the Atari home computer. This one's done by Joe Copson. Very first game we've seen him do for the port. I'm pretty maybe he talked to Doug Neubauer about it, but I'm not sure if he just took the idea, because it's pretty close to what we have on the Atari. It's actually like an enhanced version of the Atari home computer version. And then at the end, you got your rating system, and you got the tips and tricks down at the bottom. All this, so much information. If you had the game, you would be invested, wanting to be the best you could at Star Raiders. There you go. Let's pop in and play some Star Raiders by Atari in the beginning of November 1982. This is the 74th published game on home consoles that Atari has done. Oh, and that's right, I forgot. It's not going to work very well that way, because this is a unique game. To get this to work, you got to finagle it a little bit. Let's go in again with Star Raiders. Originally, Star Raiders was kind of like a variant of Star Trek on mainframe, but they added this great space combat element to it, or this the simulation of flying around and shooting in space is done very, very well. Since then, we've seen this is the 11th game that plays pretty much like this or close to this. And the original Star Raiders was November 1989. After that, we saw Space Raiders on the Apple II, Shadowhawk 1 on the Atari home computer, then Star Master by Activision on home consoles, Shootout at the OK Galaxy is another one, Phaser Patrol, and then Star Raiders on the Atari VCS. And so here we are on the latest version of Star Raiders. All right, so what I'm going to do first is change the difficulty mode, because I actually want to be able to go into this as a different level. Yeah, I don't want novice. I want pilot. There we go. All right, now we're in. And so whenever you play this, you can already see and feel the analog controls. It's pretty cool, and it's the same effect, or at least flying effect, that we saw on the Atari home computer. All right, so first thing we got to do is we have to turn everything on. So let's go ahead and I can show you the speed control. Like right now, if I want to conserve energy, just stop the ship in mid-space, because this isn't E.T. We don't have a reason to be losing energy all of a sudden. This one, you actually have a reason to lose energy if you... Oh, we're about to fly into... Shoot it, quick! I think we died, right? Did we already... Yeah, we did. if you don't have your shields on and one of the asteroids hits you, then you are just destroyed. Yeah, and our rank is rookie. We got it. All right, let's go in again. And zero us out. Stop it there. There we go. Okay, now let's put everything on so we can actually get things done. I want to go ahead and put on shields. So, oh, that's the wrong one. I want 0 there. Let's put on shields on, and targeting system on, attack computer on. And then now that we're all set here, let's go ahead and do a speed of, oh, that's my aft view. I want forward view. And then just go for, there's our galactic map. Now from the galactic map, you want to pick the the enemies that are in smaller groups first. That's usually the best idea. So this symbol here represents just 1 or 2 ships in the fleet. If you see there's some that have a symbol of 3, then it's going to be 3 ships that you'll have to attack. So you really want to pick an easy battle. And also, depending on how far you go, is how much energy you're going to use to have to warp there. So let's go ahead and hyperspace warp. Ready? And you got to stay on target or you'll warp to a completely new spot. Get the crosshair there. Hyper warp complete. Uh-oh, where'd we go? Did we go to the other place? I don't see any enemies here. Wait for it. It's not right on the crosshair. No, I still didn't do it. Okay, let's just check out what it looks like on the galactic chart then. Oh yeah, we missed by a little bit, so we warped to here. So let's try it again. Go and warp. If you play on novice mode, then you don't even have to line this up. It's just... There it is, we're in. And I'm following the radar now to get a good shot or see where the enemy is. And I want to get a little bit faster. Let's go with speed of 5. No, there. And now we go. Seems like we still stopped, though. Let me try it again. Go back to... And where is he? I'm following the radar in the bottom right. Man, it looks so cool, though. He hit us on something. Damage control is telling me something's up. Uh-oh, yep, doesn't look good. Starfleet. And we've destroyed again. Yeah, 6 speed would be a good one. Yeah, track in the middle, definitely. Yeah, and because I wasn't moving, I was like basically a sitting duck that they could shoot. All right, we'll go in again. Star Cruiser 7 destroyed. All right, we'll have to switch it to novice then. Let's go back to this mode, which was here. Oh, no, I don't want to reset. That's why. Okay, we have to just stay on this one then. And then go ahead and go into attack computer on. And shields on, and push the wrong button and I'm warping and I don't know where I'm going. Okay, well, warp was complete. Let's see where we're at. Okay, there we go. Let's see. I want to go to here and now hit it. One of the features they included that's better than the Atari home computer version is as soon as you warp, it automatically switches you to the front view. You don't have to switch it back and forth. All right, here we go. Are we still not moving? Why are we not moving? Oh, we got 2 ships here, that's why. Whoa, I got 1 down. The reason why you have to switch your speed control by pushing the pound symbol, and then after you switch to speed control, then you can adjust your speed after that. Got him. Sweet. Yeah, speed 6. Yeah, it's not switching me back to... After I switch the control, it doesn't switch the speed back. Oh, I think I know why. Because... Okay. Well, now that shields are off, we'll be sitting ducks for a little bit. But I actually have a lot of similarities between when we played this originally on Atari home computers. I get the same vibes that we had. And this is a title I'd like to continue to play for much longer than we did tonight. I mean, it's obviously a very well done game, and it's extremely complicated. But it's not complicated to the point that I wouldn't want to play. I actually would like to play this even longer. When it was released on the Atari 400 and the Atari 800, that monumental release is like the killer app for the computer. So this isn't as monumental as a release, but it's still kind of a rare treat to have a game that's like this. Phaser Patrol is out there, and Star Master is available for home consoles. Some of the other really good ones, though, are going to be on home computers right now, but it's still not a lot. It's not hasn't been saturated by games that are like this. This kind of game, like Star Raiders, is still an exceptional game. Yeah, there we go. I'm seeing some in the chat saying 4.5s. I actually have some, we've got some 4s or 4.5s. Of all the games you could play right now on all home consoles, this is too bad that this version, which is an updated version of the Atari home computer, it's too bad that it was on this system with a joystick that can be faulty. But yes, Marshall going a 5 all the way. So cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to go 1 up and say, yes, this version is one of the best games you could play on all home consoles. So this version of Star Raiders, the complexity of it and what you're able to do and play in the game and how many options you get to play and just being able to fly around freely in space is very well done. 5 star is one of the best games you could play. Oh, yeah. A 4 in my opinion. That's true. It was 5 in 1979. And that's true. That's a good point, because we already saw Phaser Patrol. I don't want to rate this over. Phaser Patrol was still really good, too. I'll say 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 for Star Raiders. It's still one of the best on home consoles. I can't say as high as 5, though, considering everything else that's available. Man, it's so good, though. And still want to play more. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Great games, great releases. I'm so excited for the games we're going to be seeing as we close out 1982. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we are getting festive and jolly, preparing for the holiday season the only way I know how, by reading the November 1982 issue of Electronic Games magazine. That's it for today, and like I always say, don't push me, man. I might go turbo. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.